Welcome to MojoGrip Mike here. On today's episode of The Everyday Pilot, we stopped by Dr. Anderson's hangar and he's going to talk to us about his Cessna 210. The Cessna 210 is a high-performance cross-country airplane. These birds have enough payload to carry up to 6 people and go 1,000 miles.
My dad was a pilot many years ago, and he owned some sawmills in California and Montana, Idaho, Washington, but he would fly to his mills and take me. We had several airplanes over the course of his flying career. He had a 210. He also had a twin Bonanza that he ended up upgrading that he bought from a small winery in California, two brothers that were upgrading to a newer airplane. Their names were Ernst and Julio Gallo, which was kind of an interesting story. That was before they were the well-known name they are. Anyway, I enjoyed flying with my father, and I've always wanted to fly. When I was in college, I started flying sailplanes. It was a cheap way to fly because there's no gas. They just tow you up, and you just pay the rental per hour. And it was a very nice way to build hours and enjoy just the freedom of getting up in the air. That's what I enjoy about flying, is just flying for the sheer pleasure of it. I don't like flying in bad conditions and so forth that give you white knuckles. I like to have the days where you just look out and enjoy. I was in the Air Force I went to a military school, and I went in the Air Force for about 6 years, and I got out, went back to school, became a doctor. That also gave me a little more time a little more resources to be able to fly more. But I enjoyed the Air Force and being around airplanes. I was an aircraft maintenance officer, and like I said, didn't really like to fly, but at least I got to be around the airplanes. You can go to any local airport that has a flight facility and talk to the people there. You can look in the phone book or on the internet, I guess nowadays, and see who provides these. We have a flight school here at this facility here in Noonan at Falcon Aviation, but most places, if you look around, will have either an instructor pilot and an aircraft you can rent, or another way I did it, I bought my own airplane and learned to fly in that, and so it was a little cheaper, and then I turned around and sold that and ended up getting this 210 later on. When I was a resident in Chattanooga, there was a glider port there, and so I got back into soaring and flying there, and then started flying single-engine piston aircraft as I was able to have a little more income, and private pilots, got my instrument rating, and just built hours from there from the early 90s. One of my good friends, he's now flying commercially, went to a flight school. He was Dutch and came to the United States, and I learned to fly with him. He went to a formal, it's kind of like Embry-Riddle. You can go to a college like that, or you can go like I did, just a local airfield, and rent an airplane and get an instructor pilot to give you your lessons and progress from there up through your various ratings. Some of the schools, like Middle Tennessee and so forth, or Embry-Riddle, they're all accelerated, and you can get your commercial and multi-engine and so forth all very quickly. But for me, I wasn't in any hurry to get any rating anytime quickly. I just enjoyed flying. Most of it was by myself and just going up and seeing the earth from the other side of the clouds. This plane, I found it was interesting. It was for sale by Moody Bible Institute. It only had one owner. It was a high-time airplane, but it was only used for training purposes. So these guys that flew it were all rated pilots, so it wasn't your typical training airplane. Moody Bible Institute closed, and they sold these airplanes, and so I was able to get a very good deal on it. It had a high-time engine. I did have to have the engine overhauled, and when I did that, of course, I did the interior, and later on, just this last year, we did the instrument panel. But it was very well equipped even when we bought it. Yeah, it was all instrument ready. It is not, obviously you can see from wings. It's not. You can't fly it into known ice. Obviously, it's not. There's no anti-ice. So there's most conditions you can fly it in. You don't want to fly in thunderstorms and icing conditions, obviously, but it's a very good IFR stable platform. I like the 210 because it's fast. It carries a a lot of cargo. So I can go most anywhere this side of the Mississippi almost as fast as you can get there in a commercial aircraft, because when I take off and I'm about halfway there, you're getting through TSA and getting on the airplane, and you might get there 2.5, 3 times faster than me speed-wise from point A to point B. But by the time you're in the air, I'm getting ready to land. So it's kind of nice. I can get there pretty quick. This aircraft flies about at 10,000 feet. We fly at about 155 knots, true indicated. Fuel economy is great. With the engine analyzer, I can burn about 13.5 gallons an hour. So it's got a really good duration. As you can expect, you can just do the arithmetic in your head. With 88 gallons of fuel, you can go easily 6 hours probably. And again, I usually just fly 4-hour hops, and that gets me most anywhere quickly. Well, right now I have 2 boys grown up. One's a lawyer in Charlotte, and I go visit him regularly. So instead of going for a weekend, and I don't want to be the father or father-in-law that doesn't leave. I just go out and we'll go out and have lunch, and I'll come back or play golf or enjoy it. So it's just basically to visit family, and if I want to go to the beach, I can go to the beach for the day. It's mostly right now a day traveler. I will take trips. I've got friends in Texas. I'll see them, and I enjoy going to Florida. That's probably where I fly to most often. Spend vacation time in Florida, so I'll fly down there instead of drive or take a commercial flight. General aviation it's kind of not a dying business, but it's not the growth that it once had, and it's nice to have young people that are interested in aviation and learn to fly, because there's actually, I understand, going to be a pilot shortage. There's a real big opening, I think, coming up for young people to learn how to fly and become pilots in commercial carriers one day. Another thing that I do, I go to every year, we go up with friends to Oshkosh, and that's a great place to go visit if you want to learn anything about aviation, whether you're military, commercial, general, whatever your interests are. That is a great place to go. So I go up there every year with friends. We usually fly up in a 2 or 3 ship formation, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, we join up in Ohio and then fly from there in. Yeah. Clear.
The Cessna 210 is a high-performance, single-engine airplane. And this one we're sitting in is at least 20 years old, but it still flies like a new plane. If you look at the panel, it's been completely upgraded with glass. And today we're just gonna go for a quick hop and see how this thing flies. The Cessna 210 might present itself like a truck, but once you pull that nose up and the wheels goes in, this thing flies. Expect to climb at least 1,000 feet per minute. And you take this airplane up in altitude, you should see speeds anywhere from 150 to 160 knots. Today was a fairly cool, nice day. We did get a few bumps in some areas, but the airplane remained stable. Now, our pilot in command is a seasoned pilot, and he's owned this airplane for several years. He's also instrument rated, so a lot of his flights are IFR. I thought the visibility was great in this airplane. I've mostly flown low wings, and it's just interesting to me how much below you can see when you're flying a high wing. I got a chance to dabble a little bit with the controls, but certainly this would take some getting used to. We came back around, and on the approach speed, Dr. Anderson mentions that he typically comes in at 5 to 10 knots faster in this airplane. Now this is great if you have some headwinds in front of you, and some pilots just have their own way of flying. We touched down gracefully, and I can say that I'm very impressed with this airplane. If you're looking for a capable airplane where you can throw 4 to 6 people, go 1,000 miles, and still have some reserve, this is an airplane you should definitely be looking at. Cost-wise, one fully equipped with a glass panel like this will cost around $150,000. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give a thumbs up. And if this is your first time, be sure to subscribe to MojoGrip. Thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Mike, and I will catch you on the next video.